Hello there. If someone was about to take their life or risk it in some way, not just take their life, but also risk any future eternal life, how long would you spend to help them? How long would you spend to try to convince them to stop the course of action that they were taking? Add to that, if that person was a family member, if they were your brother, if they were your sister, if it was your uncle or your auntie, your mum or your dad, how long would you spend to try to convince them not to take that jump, not to walk into that freezing river, not to step in front of the bus? How long would you spend to try to save their lives? Well, I can tell you the answer for me. The answer was not 1 second. When I was a Jehovah's Witness, I discovered that I didn't agree with certain things. I went online and I found other people who also didn't agree with those things. Not because they were a vast conspiracy of apostates who wanted to draw people off of themselves, but because they were simply honest, questioning people. So I looked at the things that I didn't agree with and I learnt some more. And I took those to various people in my congregation. I'll be quite open about it. It was the Lisburn congregation in Northern Ireland. I went to the people that I loved and respected. Roddy Moyer, Graham Catney, Lee Overton, Brian Fisher, Mark Greenberg. Even some of the women who were vastly disparaged in the Jehovah's Witnesses. Gillian Barron. I went to people and I said to them, these are some of the doubts that I have. Can you help me? Do you know how long they spent to save me before I went off on my own? That's right, not 1 second. I sent a letter to the governing body asking them about the things that I didn't agree with, asking them to explain them to me. No one replied. I've spoken to other people who were more senior than me, who were former elders who went on, and they had 2, even 3 meetings with elders who came out to see them. Not 1 second. When I was a Jehovah's Witness, you can say anything you want about me. I'll tell you what I was like. I was devout. I believed it in my heart. I might not have been perfect, but by God I believed it. I wanted to set things straight in the world, and I thought the Jehovah's Witnesses were the way to do it. It wasn't me that left the Jehovah's Witnesses. It was the Jehovah's Witnesses that left me. The Jehovah's Witnesses who weren't proud enough, who weren't courageous enough to stand up and defend what they believed. Now we all know, those of us who are no longer Jehovah's Witnesses, that the reason they didn't do it is because they haven't got the guts. It's because they can't. They can't defend what they believe. But back then, I didn't know this, and all I saw was cowards. So I'm going to tell you now, to your faces if you ever get a chance to watch this. You were cowards. You let yourself down. You failed in the jobs that you took on. And you failed me. In a way, I was saved by getting out of the Jehovah's Witnesses, not in a religious sense because I'm no longer involved in religion, but in a way that I actually am able to lead my own life the way I lead it, the way I think is right, and not follow the diktats of some 80-year-old man in Brooklyn. But you failed terribly. And I see you walking down the street, I see you standing out with your information stands now in Lisburn, holding out your magazines like you've just been plugged in. You do your hour and off you go home. And I see you and I think to myself, what utter failures. You've let so much down, you've wasted so much of your lives. And I want to say this to anyone who's a Jehovah's Witness, who's thinking about leaving. We are not apostates. The apostates are the people who can't defend themselves. I can defend my beliefs all day long. And you're welcome to come and speak to me. Any apostate who you believe is more than happy to have that discussion. It's you that won't have the discussion. What does that make you? Okay? If you're a person who's considering leaving the Jehovah's Witnesses, I'm a bit pissed in this video, to be honest, a bit angry. But if you're a person who's considering leaving, you come to some of us and we'll do everything we can to help. We realise that the Jehovah's Witnesses have you in a stranglehold, that your family will disown you, that you might get kicked out of your home if you're a kid. Happened to my sister. You know, it never ends. The tricks are always the same. And the irony is, and I've learned this recently, if you don't believe that you're in an organisation that controls people like a cult, look at other organisations which you are happy to call cults. Look at the Scientologists, look at the Moonies, look at the Children of God. Look at organisations like that. And what you're going to see is echoes of your own religion. Now, I'm going to leave this here because I don't have a lot more power and more patience, frankly, for this. But I do want to say, if you're a person who is considering joining the Jehovah's Witnesses, ask yourself, how much love does an organization show? That when someone who you call brother, friend, father, mother, thankfully my father and mother left with me, but if you're one of those people, then when you come to them and you ask them at your darkest moment for help, they don't spend 1 second to try to convince you. They don't spend 1 second to help you. Ask yourself, what kind of organization is that? Is it a Christian organization? Is it a decent organization? Is it a moral organization? Or does it just want you? Are you just a number? Are you replaceable? Or are you an individual? So ask yourself those things. If you want to contact me, Facebook is available. I'm always happy to discuss it with people. And thanks very much for watching.